All right, so I'm out in the Thunderbird pasture this morning. So Thunderbird, if you were able to see to the left of me, there's the reservation office in Waldron Lodge. To the right of me is the sports field. And then behind me, looking over there, well, that is the Thunderbird campsite. So that's gonna remain. Our pasture, this one here, will basically run from Province Road, which is behind the camera, up through those trees. That's gonna be a silvopasture area. And that's where animals can go and get shade. So that's what that'll be kept for. And that's gonna stay there. And we're really working this area. Now what we noticed is that we're not getting good water infiltration in this area. It took a long time for it to dry out. Granted, we had 35 inches of rain, but we had standing water up here for an awful long time. So it's really building that ability for the soil to absorb the water. What that helps with is erosion. It helps us with drought conditions. It's going to help us with our small water cycle, and maybe a little time in the future we'll discuss the small water cycle and how that works. So we've got a whole bunch of processes that we're using. The most important one is we're trying to stay away from anything chemical or commercial. So we want to avoid bringing in commercial fertilizers. Those are the things that people put nitrogen down, which the soil needs, but you put nitrogen down. If it doesn't get absorbed into the soil and it runs off, then that's what creates your problems. That runs off, that gets into your water systems. That creates a whole lot of problems with that nitrogen. So we're going to try and get nitrogen other ways. Now that other ways of nitrogen is we're going to be composting, and so your greens will get you some nitrogen. Obviously animal poo and urine, that gets us some nitrogen. And then we have to balance it with some of the woody materials. So, we use wood chips for that. We use some shavings. And that gives us a carbon nitrogen balance. And that's what we're trying to get onto our ground here and really balance that out. So far, what we have done is we put down barn lime, which is a very mild thing to try and balance out our pH. We were on the wrong side of the pH, and that was all the years of the pine trees that were here. Pine needles and those sort of things are super acidic. And then we're really just going to try and start getting some crops in here. And by crops, what we're doing is we're going to have an assortment of grasses, legumes, and forbs, that they would refer to that as. None of it's going to get really tall. That's kind of our goal. It is good forage mix, and that's forage for every kind of critter that's out there. They all like it. The goats will like it, the donkeys will like it, the cattle will like it. But not only that, the deer are going to like it, the squirrels are going to like it, the chipmunks are going to like it, the turkeys are going to like it, all the birds. So that's what we want to have in here. But we don't want to be out here mowing and having to hay and those sort of things and getting out on the mechanical process. That obviously uses diesel fuel, and that's counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. And what we're really trying to do at the end of the day, this whole process, is take carbon out of the atmosphere, build the carbon cycle. So as we have things growing, they grow using carbon, they bring that in, we build up good soil down here. And once we get these two pastures going, we'll start looking at other areas and healing the soil throughout the camp. So one of the things you'll probably notice next year when you start coming up to camp is we don't have a lot of regular grass. We're going to have a whole lot of things that look like a really nice prairie or a grassland. And that's what we're trying to bring back. So it'll be exciting to see those as they start to come up next year. For now, I'm going to start working on this spot right here that doesn't look so hot. All right.